Uganda is yet to come out of a second lockdown that was imposed by government as a measure to curb the spread of COVID-19 that has claimed more than 2,000 lives. With just days to the end of the 42 days lockdown, there is no guarantee that this will not happen again, as health experts warn of a possible third wave, which will have its share of devastation on the economy. When businesses are closed and most people are not working, government loses revenue in an economy already choking on foreign and local debts. In order for the economy to remain afloat, some economists are suggesting that government should set up a stimulus fund in the microfinance support center as opposed to the previous intervention where government injected billions of shillings in the Uganda Development Bank, which can't be easily accessed by people operating small businesses.
UDP is not for small entrepreneurs. That is for big entrepreneurs. Because there are a lot of issues that are required. You're talking about whether the company is registered. You're talking about whether, a company to borrow should be talking about 100 million and above. You're talking about issues of collateral. Those are not issues of a small entrepreneur. UDC, the same story. It's not for a small entrepreneur. And the government actually had planned to put a lot of money in UDB and UDC. That money is not for a local person. It is for the big entrepreneurs. Then another third one is the microfinance center. That one is appropriate.
However, Dr. Faizo Buyinza argues that investing in agro-processing industries and factories is a better solution since the agriculture sector employs more than 70% of the population. Just like it was during the previous lockdown, farmers are grappling with low prices of produce like matoke, pineapples and eggs, among others.
If they are processing industries, the farmer would get a better price, would be able to take their children to school, okay? And essentially, education would continue. That is one direction. If the farmers, if government can systematically invest in agriculture, okay, the industrial sector, the agro-processing, would pick up, and this subsector of the industry, of the economy, would employ the elites.
Dr. John Mutenyo, a senior lecturer of economics at Makerere University, further argues that putting money in SACCOs will also go a long way in supporting small business owners recover from this economic shock.
Since this is coming from government, the interest rate should not be the ordinary interest rate of what? These financial institutions. The interest rate has to be lowered.
SACCOs are not inclusive. Even at places of work like here, we have a SACCO, but if you go and see the percentage of people who save in that SACCO, where we get at least a good salary, okay, you may get surprised.
During the previous lockdown, government offered a deferred tax holiday to businesses, which Mutenyo argues was a wrong approach, and now wants government to consider giving a tax holiday to some business owners.
It should simply be a tax holiday, let's say for 6 months. I'm not talking about all forms of taxes. There are various taxes. We're talking about these small enterprises. How much are they supposed to pay to KCCA? How much are they supposed to pay to URA? Some of those taxes can be actually waived off. Allow these people to start working, say for a period of 6 months, because to be hard or difficult for the landlord to waive off the rent. But government, these are people who belong to government, not to the landlord.
Just like in the past, experts have argued that the major problem has been the way government sets its priorities.
The way government sets its priorities at times is amazing. We have people right now who are dying of lots of sicknesses. But most especially COVID right now. You cannot spend that amount of money buying cars for members of parliament who are simply going to sleep in parliament.
NTV has learned that the National Planning Authority, the Ministry of Finance and other government entities are yet to agree on what needs to be done to revive the country's economy as it recovers from the COVID-19 lockdown shock, and after that they will be tabling whatever decision they will come up with before cabinet. But some critics are saying that the government is taking too long to come up with such solutions because this is not the first time that the country has undergone a lockdown. And in fact, they add that more often than not, the government is always beaten once but never twice shy. Sudhir Biarhanga, NTV.